I will start this show with a quote from Ashley Warner. Ashley Warner is from Youth Dynamics, which is a youth ministry. Beneath every behavior, there is a feeling. And beneath each feeling, there is a need. And when we meet that need, rather than focus on the behavior, we begin to deal with the cause and not the symptom. So this quote talks about behavior, understanding behavior, and appreciates the importance of understanding the behavior, connecting it with the feeling, and therefore deal with the need. Because every feeling, according to Ashley, there is a need. And when you deal with that need, then you're dealing with the cause, not the symptom. And you know what happens every time we deal with the symptoms and we leave the cause untouched, then the problem is not solved. It keeps on appearing. And therefore, today, we want to understand behavior, especially in toddlers. And this behavior, it's about tantrums. And this is not a new situation. We've seen tantrums in children. We've seen tantrums even in adults. But we want to focus on toddlers. That's about 1 to 3. And ladies and gentlemen, our evening's topic is dealing with tantrums in toddlers. You're very much welcome. My name is Moses, and this is Back to Basics live on Bethan TV for Health. Bethan TV for Health is live on GoTV, Star Times, free to air, and also on different mobile applications. From mobile app, Airtel TV, Your TV, and also live on YouTube. And you can also join on www.bethantv.ug. Always remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit that notification. In that way, you will not miss any of our programs here at Bethan TV for Health, the TV that prioritizes health. And health is the way to go because it touches our well-being. Very much welcome. Very excited indeed again to be with you. You know you're tuned in because this is your favorite program where we say we get back to the basics. And knowledge is power, and you should always seek for it. So when a platform like this is available, jump that opportunity and acquire that knowledge. Very much excited this evening once again to welcome Mariam Nabukera.
Thank you, Moses.
Mariam Nabukera is a counseling psychologist, and she speaks passionately about mental health and dealing with different issues that pertains our health. But above all, she does a lot in the community where she comes from in Entebbe with different organizations, but supporting different units, family, children, parenting, etc. And therefore, it's a privilege to have Mariam here.
Thank you, Moses.
On this Friday. A lady like her now, you would say maybe should be out there and enjoying, but she chooses not to and comes to share these nuggets of wisdom that are very important. Therefore, I must say from me, we are glad to have you here in Bethan TV studios.
Thank you, Moses. I'm also glad to be here this evening.
Wow, I must say
plus the team behind, Mr. Faizo, thank you so much for the good work. I really appreciate.
Wow, thank you very much. Faizo is a technical staff and a producer who makes this show possible and comes your way. Thank you for remembering back office staff.
And the management, by the way, because if not them, the back staff won't be there. Even you, not even me. So, and you too, the viewers, thank you so much for giving in your free time, because you would have been somewhere else, maybe tuning in on soap or something else, but you gave in your time to learn something about your toddler or your young kid. Yes, so
thank you very much. You're looking beautiful, smart in black and red, and wear nice hair. You're wearing Yeah, it really speaks of a Friday going to a weekend,
Yeah.
but you look amazingly smart.
Thank you. Already the weekend has started. So.
I know. Well, back to the topic, like I said, looking at the quote of Shilewana, talking about understanding behavior. This evening, we want to focus and understand behavior in regard to tantrums. And with Mariam with us, she will make us understand what are tantrums, what are they, and where do they come from. We've heard that word, but we need now to go into the psychology of it. So, Mariam, to start our discussion, what are tantrums?
Tantrums are uncontrolled outbursts of anger or frustration, I can say. But 5 years ago, I had an experience as a layman. I had nothing I knew about toddlers. And I came across a lady with a young child. I think they misagreed about something. The kid wanted something and the mom wanted something for a kid. Yeah, so the kid, out of the blue, because I was from afar, I didn't know what really happened. But for what I saw, I judged, as you said, I judged, you say the symptoms before the behavior. I said, because the kid lied down and slided like the legs, and then he screamed so loud, and then the mom was so angry about him, with him, and she was like, why did you do that? Hey, you're doing this, we are in public, could you please put yourself together? I was like, this parent, this commotion they are causing. I judged the parent, and I said, I think the parent did something wrong to the kid, or else the kid wasn't grown out very well. But when I came across and I became learned, and I knew something about toddlers, and again I'm here to let you know what exactly toddlers are, what they behave, what behavior mean. When they behave it, what do they mean? When the signs come, what do they mean? Toddlers, this is a stage, a very young stage of kids that are 1 to 3 years. Yeah, so this is the age where they face growth in their emotions, in their social, and in their language. So this is, we know very well that toddlers are kids that have not well known how to talk. They don't know how to express themselves. So I can say in regards to tantrums, it's basically a way kids used to express or spit out what they have, or to change what is happening around them. Because remember, they can't talk. Yeah, so they throw out tantrums day after day, times after times, so that they express what they are feeling inside them. Because sometimes they can't tell you that, Mama, I don't want this, Mommy, I don't like that, what you did to me, I don't like. So instead they throw a tantrum.
Okay, must all toddlers experience this, go through this stage?
Yeah, it's a normal stage. It's a normal stage. Every toddler goes through it, because there is a stage where your kid does not talk. It's the surrounding that causes them to talk, that is grasping what is around them. So if at all this toddler comes around that stage, the tantrums always coming because they haven't known how to express their feelings. Yes.
Because my worry is, there are some kids who I don't want to say overdo it, but we've seen different kids. Maybe you're like the illustration you gave in the supermarket, in the hotel, in different public spaces. You find there are very many parents with children almost the same age, but those children are behaving differently, and they're all toddlers. They are all not. They can't express verbally. They can't. They have not yet reached that stage of talking. But you see, others are throwing tantrums more than others. So that's why I'm asking that: do all children do this, or there are some that do, or others maybe don't?
Thank you, Moses, for that question. Every toddler has to pass through this stage, because I told you it happens usually in the stage where kids are experiencing the growth of their language, growth in their or development in their language, social and emotions. So emotions, as they grow, they have to show.
Yes.
And remember, these kids are overwhelmed with these emotions. They don't know how it feels when you're worried. They don't know how it feels when you're ashamed, when you're what. So instead, they throw these tantrums to express what they feel. Even if they're angry, even if they're happy, sometimes they do what is not supposed to be done. So this is the stage of growth. However, some kids, you said, do they or they don't? They all do. The difference is how a parent handles it when the parent sees it. Yeah, that's where the difference comes.
So how the parenting, because you'd find, for example, you have two children.
Yeah.
And two different children in this case, and they are subjected to one instruction.
Yeah.
They've all asked for ice cream, and the parent A says no, and the child just accepts. Same age. And then parent B says no, this child sits down and kicks and so that's why I was asking, what explains that kind of difference?
Okay. Parent A, as you said, that parent A says don't and the child listens, and parent B says
today there's no ice cream, and the child, of course, she
wants it, but
another one, they say no ice cream. My God.
Cakes and everything.
Hey.
Now the difference is
glasses
here.
Even.
Now the difference is here. Parents pay attention about this. You know, sometimes we cause this to our children, because every time a child throws these tantrums, let me say screams because he wants or grapes for something. Let me say ice cream. You're passing through, let me say, a shop of ice cream, and the child screams, "Mommy, I want ice cream!" And then instead of you disciplining immediately that child and maybe refuse to give them that ice cream and maybe tell them the way they should ask this ice cream, maybe let me say, can you say, please, mommy, can I have, or I request, something like that. So parent A, let us say that parent A said that part of collected that child immediately after the child thrown in the tantrum and told him how he should express when he wants something, and parent B didn't. Parent B, at first or the second or the third time that child did that or screamed when he wanted the ice cream, the parent gave the ice cream or bought the ice cream. Yeah, so this child learned that when I scream, when I do this, mom gives me this. So sometimes they even do it not, it doesn't come because he wants to express his feeling, but because he has learned it that when I do this, it
using what works.
Yeah,
when I do this, I get it.
I get it. When I cry, mommy does this. It happens because we've all done this. You know, kids know their mothers. However, parents think kids don't know. But you also know that when I used to do this, mom used to do this for me. When I used not to want to eat something, when I used to want to, maybe something like a toy, mom wants me when I'm eating. So I'm not going to eat. So that when mom asks, what's wrong, baby? You say, I want a toy. Then mom gets the toy. You see? That used to happen back then. For me, when I wanted something, I used to first know what my mom does. When I want it, what do I usually do? I do it, mom does it. So I come to know that when I do this, mom gives me this. So that's that.
Mariam, it seems like nowadays throwing tantrums or the rate of tantrums is higher than in the traditional parenting. And it's as if these kids, government or something like that, which never used to happen. And what do you see as the difference in parenting styles between
back then and now?
A traditional, like back then, let me not say traditional, back then, and a modern parent like you and me. Where do you see the difference in regard to
the tantrums?
Tantrums, yes.
Okay, thank you, Moses. Parents back then, mothers used to have roles, and roles were only for mothers. And nowadays, mothers are distracted by making money. But back then, dads used to go and hunt and leaves the mom to do the home chores, plus taking care of the kid. Taking care of a kid was a job or a role made for a mother. But nowadays, we get house helps. They do that, and sometimes these house helps are younger. They don't know what to do. They don't know, because take an example when someone is looking for someone to work for them, because of the insecurities they have with their husbands. They sometimes get in a younger kid that is, let me say, 15, 14, from the village. They don't know what to do. But so even if a child throws in a tantrum, the parents can't even know, because even if the kid throws in, as a maid, even if it was me, I can't beat this child because you don't have ovary authority about this child to collect them as a mother could. Because what if you're collecting them and the mother finds when you're beating the child? It won't leave you in any position as for a job. So in one way or the other, mothers back then, they used to parent their kids themselves. They used not to get, let me say, the house helps. They used not to. So even if there is that motherly bonding that used to happen, when a child used to be in the hands of the mother used to look at the child. They bonded emotionally. They used to bond. And the child looks at the mother. The mother talks good words to this child's, let me say, ears. This child used to hear a lot from the mother. And these used to be good things that a mother wanted the child to hear. But now then it doesn't. So in that process, that's when a mother can know that this child, when I do this, when I handle my child like this, he doesn't want it or she doesn't want it. When I handle him like this, he wants it. So it reduces the tantrums, because a mother does exactly what the child wants, because the mother has got much time or enough time to learn the likes and dislikes of the child. Because I told you, remember, when a child feels like he's heard, he can't throw these tantrums. Sometimes they just want to be heard, to get your attention. But this kid, he already has the attention of the mother. So he doesn't need to throw in any other tantrum. Those are the kids back then. That's why they used to be more disciplined than kids right now. Yes.
Because back then you throw the tantrum. If you refuse food, they leave you.
They leave you.
So hunger will bring you back to look for food.
To look for food. They used to do things that they know that at the end of Z,
point, yes,
you will come back
the
to the
need
end.
will bring you back. You can't just say I don't want to eat.
But they used
they
to
know
use
hunger.
they
Hunger
used
will
to
bring
use
you back.
yeah, they used to use psychology. They used to use psychology more than we do.
When you cry, they leave you.
They leave
cry,
you,
then
you cry, and then you bring back yourself.
Then you get tired and the tears dry and you start laughing.
But nowadays, when a kid screams for a toy of the other kid, a mother is going to make sure he buys that.
So you want to say that parents nowadays would maybe think that when a child does that, they don't want to see the child do that anyway. And
they don't want.
In doing so, they are kind of nurturing that behavior of tantrums.
That's right. They are nurturing. Not everything that you ask for is supposed to be given. That's the world. And then the babies, the toddlers, it also applies to them. Because if you're giving each and everything that a child wants, it means when that child, anything that he has done that has influenced your ticket due to give them that thing, he's going to make sure that next time he will want it, he will do it in order for you to give them that. So you have to be keen. When your kid wants something, you have to take care of a manner you're teaching them in order to get it. So if you teach your child in order to get something, you have to humble yourself. That child is going to be that way. It's going to first humble themselves to ask it. But if you tell them that in order to get this, you have to scream, you have to be aggressive, you have to be angry at mommy, you have to beat mommy so that you get attention from mommy.
Wow.
The child is going to do like that. He will think that that is the way to go.
That's the way to go. Thank you very much, Mariam. We've seen that it's a stage, and therefore children are bound to pass through that stage. But then we've also seen that there are different ways of handling that stage. My worry, and I think what we shall look at, is if it's not managed and controlled at that stage, what happens in the young adulthood and also adulthood stage? I think we're going to look at that when we come back. But for now, let's first take a break, and then we will be back. Welcome back from that short break. We're still dealing with tantrums in toddlers. Very, very interesting and insightful. Mariam is unpacking this topic. These are some of the things that we've been seeing, experiencing, but sometimes we don't know the psychology behind them. And I still emphasize, and with the quote that we started with, of understanding behavior that leads you to understand the feeling and therefore understanding the need behind that feeling. And it continues that if you deal with that need, then you're solving a cause, not only treating symptoms. And when you deal with the cause, then definitely you're dealing with the problem. But you can't do that when you're not equipped with the knowledge of understanding behaviors. And for the break, Mariam explained the tantrums in toddlers and appreciated that this is a stage and it's a normal stage. And therefore, as parents, as guardians, we should not get worried of this stage.
No.
But what we should be concerned with is how to deal and manage some of the tantrums in this stage. Talking about some of the tantrums, Mariam, what are some of those tantrums in terms of examples and like how do they communicate? What do they do, the kids?
Sometimes,
and we say this is the tantrum.
Okay, thank you, Moses. Sometimes these kids isolate. They isolate from their fellows, and it is as a result as they feel that they are not heard, and they don't know sometimes how to express themselves. So they isolate because they feel sometimes they bully them because they don't know how to express some things.
So isolation is one of them.
It's also part of them as a sign. Sometimes I told you of screaming.
Of screaming, yes.
They always aggressive. They avoid eye contact most of the times because eye contact sometimes builds bonds, a bond. So at that stage, when it is on, their brain is made up of 3 parts. As per now, we have the first one, the second one, the mammalian brain, and we have what we call the human brain in simple terms. So when this tantrum comes in, this human brain is supposed to tell this kid that when your parent is screaming at you, could you please understand that he's telling you keep quiet? Oh, don't do this, don't do that. So when this tantrum comes in, or when that child feels so heavy, have this heavy feeling. When we talk about heavy emotions, we are talking about worries. When the child is worried, when the child is in fear, when the child is angry, when the child is feels offended or something like that. Because you know that kids also feel offended at plan A. Yeah. So when this part of the brain that is supposed to say the meaning of what you're telling them at that point, it goes off. And around this time, you're dealing with the mammalian and the first one. The mammalian is supposed to be for bonding. So if this is here, minus this knowing. So bonding is not allowed. That's why sometimes the kids don't do eye contact when this is happening. They run when this happens because they feel that they are not heard, there is no attention for them. They feel, sometimes they grow, let me say, aggressive, because they know that when they do that, you pay attention to them. You ask them what is wrong. Yeah, so most of the times it happens that way. It happens that way.
Isolation, then aggressiveness.
Yeah, aggressiveness.
They
run away.
Running away.
They run away.
Yeah.
And they scream sometimes.
And scream, and they think whine. Wow.
Yeah.
So there, they are communicating.
Yeah, they are communicating that something is
They are communicating. So a parent, a guardian who has attended this discussion and they has heard from Mariam will say they are communicating.
Yeah,
Therefore,
they are communicating.
we'll try to look for the cause for that need. But then someone who doesn't have this knowledge and would say, "Onomwana ine msambi."
Yeah, because by the way, when a child,
that's where those who beat Chiboko can come in.
But when a child is crying, there is something that child is communicating. When a child is looking at you, there is something they are communicating. Have you ever played a ball with a child and you throw the ball, he comes back, you throw it, it comes back. And at plan A, when you stop throwing it, that child can look at the ball and looks at you. He's communicating that, could you please throw the ball back? Yeah, so that's how they communicate. Sometimes they do eye contact, by the way, as communicating when it is open. When you've told them that it is okay, you can communicate to me. When they feel heard, that when I do this, mom can hear me, they do that. Yes, when at all they cry, I told you, they communicate. When they run, something is wrong. Try to find out what is wrong with that child. When they don't want to be touched, please leave them. Leave them alone, because they also have feelings. They have feelings. They also know what they want at point B, because these are the kids that have a virgin mind. They have a pure mind. They know what they want that is good for them. That's what they think sometimes. So when your child is angry, first of all, what you can do, you have to first calm down yourself. And then you come down to them. You have to do eye contact, but you have to make sure that your eyes are like they are sympathetic. Like you look with them, you look to them with a sympathetic eye to show that we are in this together. Don't worry. You have to show them that sympathy. You feel that you're on their side. You understand them. You have to talk back when they talk.
Yes, Mariam, at the tail end of this discussion, we'll try to look at best practices and dealing with tantrums to maybe create or build good behaviors.
Yeah, intention.
And now we would want to, and appreciating what you've talked, that it's a stage.
It's a stage.
And this stage, children must pass through that stage. So at least that is one fact that we've seen.
Yeah.
But then my question now is, what happens if at that stage tantrums are not handled properly in right parenting? What happens when this child grows in their young adulthood and adulthood or mature stage? What do we see manifesting if this stage is not handled well?
Thank you, Moses. I can say that when you leave this child to go as they are, minus you handling it in this early stage of being a toddler, I can say that let me talk about you giving them something when they cry or when they do a certain action that is violent. This child is going to become violent and is going to know that when I do this, someone has to do this for me. And when you always give in whatever that child is asking for, then you're embracing and you're grooming someone who thinks that no one can say no to them. And these kids will be in a much trauma when it happens in their adulthood. Because we've ever seen people who say that they don't say no to me. Why? Because they grew up when their mom or their parents has never said no to them. Everything they ask them, they used to give. The second one, we say that if this disorder continues and you don't handle it well, or you don't identify it within your child, this child grows bitter inside. They grow bitter and they think they are not heard. They grow violent. They grow violent and they think that each and everything to get it, I have to either keep quiet or like that. It means it's going to torture this child. If at all you have not made them learn about how to express their feelings, they are going to they are going to see the world in that way. They will never express themselves, and it will grow into low self-esteem to this child when they grow up, because they will never say something that is used to identify whatever they are feeling. So they will stay quiet even if they are hurt. They will stay quiet even if they want something. So it will limit them to go beyond the world, because people will name them as they don't know what they want. Yet they know, but as a parent, you didn't do your part of telling them or nurturing them or letting them know that saying what you want is also a normal thing. Yes. And also the third one, or the last one, I could say that if as a parent you don't take care of this, your child will grow, let me say, sometimes, by the way, when you don't teach your child to socialize, they grow out to be people who are, let me say, because some people take it to be normal, because I'm an introvert. They grow out to be introverts. They grow up to be introverts, and an introvert is a person who wants to do things alone because they think it's normal. And I'm telling it to myself, it's not normal to be okay, it's a personality itself, but sometimes let us accept or not, it limits us to reach onto some things, because as a counselor, I have to socialize with a lot of people, but I can't miss out to say that I was an introvert, and a lot was not done in that state. I did not do some things. I did not do, let me say, community counseling. Yet I was sitting on knowledge that was going to help someone out there who was passing through something. So take an example as me. If I continue to be that way, but it all happened when I was very young, because my mom I used to stay with my mom, and I thought that is the end of it all. I didn't know how to socialize with other people. And I used to keep quiet about my feelings because I thought it was normal, because no one taught me about how to express myself. Yeah, so it happens unless you know what you're going through, and then you help yourself out. So we see as parents that we do a lot, or we contribute on a lot of our children's results when they grow up. Their personality, we influence their personality so much as parents in their adulthood. When you don't handle well at this age of toddlers, it makes an impact to them. And sometimes it can be negative.
Good. Thank you very much, and thank you again for even being vulnerable to share your experience and in regard to this. And now, looking at that stage, what are some of the disciplines that may be inculcated in a child's life while handling tantrums and trying to deal with them at that stage? What do we see as values or disciplines that a child gains?
Thank you, Moses. As we are handling toddler tantrums, we have to bear in mind that as parents, we have to put them the discipline of being social. They have to show how does it come. As a parent nowadays, we don't want to carry our kids to occasions because we feel like they will disturb us, they will do this, they will do that. Because of the tantrums, you yourself has contributed or influenced as a parent. So for me, I could encourage parents to go on with their kids to occasions as a way to help their kids know how to express and how to be in people. In that manner, these kids will know how to behave when someone is in a crowd. That you have to greet when let me say when the child is 3 years old and he sees as a mother, when you reach on an occasion, you greet people around there. That this child is going to learn that behavior. That when I'm in people, before I sit down, I greet those who I found there. And another thing we are seeing that parents back then, they used to handle their children personally as mothers. As I told you, that back then a mother has only one of the roles she had, and only for a mother, it was to take care of this toddler or the child. Remember, when we talk about toddlers, we're talking about kids that are 12 to 18 months. That's 1 to 3 years. So these parents used to go around with this kid and used to tell them all things that a mother is supposed to tell, or a mother nowadays is supposed to tell. That is how to behave. When they meet people, you have to kneel down, as in a manner of some cultures, it's okay to kneel down. Others, it's okay. You have to greet this person, even if you don't kneel down. For some cultures, yes, you don't kneel down, but you have to greet them because you don't know how they say. So it also teaches them that manner, behaving, or a character. They have a good character with people when they socialize.
Wow.
And the next one, we used to see that these kids used to get interaction skills. They used to know how to interact with others, despite them being not their blood related. Kids used to come home, let me say, kids for the neighbors. They used to come home back then, and this kid was given a chance to play with these kids. And nowadays we have fences. We don't allow neighbor kids to come in. But in that manner, you're allowing your child to cope the idea or the behavior of interacting with others. So that even if this child grows up, they know how to interact with other people that they are not related to in a good manner, because you remember, these people have grown in different ways, in different backgrounds, and they have come together. It means a lot of misunderstanding is going to happen. But when this child is playing with another and they are maybe crying about a toy, it is you as a parent to come and immediately discipline this child that it's good to share. It's good to share with your friend. It's good to don't handle yourself like this. Don't beat your friend. Don't do this. So another discipline can be interaction. Yeah, they learn how to interact.
How to interact.
The character and
shaping character.
Shaping
Interesting. Now, knowing that there are values and disciplines that may be inculcated into a child's life and behavior, and helping them to grow into better people, knowing that this can happen in that stage. From the psychology point of view, what are some of the best practices and parenting styles that one should adopt in order to deal with the tantrums in toddlers?
Thank you, Moses. As a parent, when your child screams, I told you that first of all it starts from you first calming yourself down, and then you calm this child down. I told you, look into their eyes and in a sympathetic way to show them that we are in this together. Your eyes show that you're sympathizing with them. If at all this child is crying, try to say, sorry, baby. Even if you don't know what has happened to this child, say sorry. In adults, sorry is something and it heals a lot, so applies to a toddler. We have parents that have never said sorry to their kids, even if what happens. I encourage you to tell them sorry when something has happened to them, even if you don't know. Because they experience a lot when we don't even know. We do a lot of harm to them when we don't even know. You do wrongs to them, you do a mistake to them when you don't even know. So in that manner, psychologically, when this child, you see that they have gone violent, as a parent, you have to come down to their level. When you don't stand, when you're talking to this child who is experiencing a tantrum, don't stand. I should advise you to squat if you can, or kneel down if you can, and talk to this child. Try to talk to them, to ask them however much they don't speak, but try to use words that can express what they feel. Let me say, this child is hurt. Tell them, are you hurt? Is this hurting? Have I done this? Have I made you wrong? Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Such words, that kid feels heard and feels understood by you. Now, as a parent, when the child is taking, there is what we call a baby language, like blah blah, ah, la 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 la, something like that. When the child is talking that, as a parent, you're advised to, let me say, echo that's what they are saying. It's called a baby language. Try to echo what they are saying. In that manner, you're trying to shape and tell them that I really understand how you feel and I understand you so well. This child, however much he doesn't know that you don't know, or you're doing that because you don't know. For him, he feels so hard. They feel that they're hard and mom pays attention to me. In that manner, you're reducing chances of that child to face these tantrums. Because as I told you, it is a stage where a child, it's a disorder that a child, or it's a way a child uses to express their feelings or try to manage or to change what is around them. So when you try to tell them that, please, you understood, you heard, and we can change what you want to be changed, this child will reduce on throwing these tantrums. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. So when a child is doing that, parents should not go ahead to punish.
No. And you shouldn't, when the child is aggressive.
That's what happens in some parenting styles.
When a child goes aggressive, the parent also goes aggressive.
Yes.
No.
Fire
you have to
fire.
come. No, fire can't seize fire. It has to be someone calm to put someone down, because it can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. You can't love. Someone who is hurt just wounds others, or someone who is wounded just hurts others. So when you calm, you will calm this child down. When you're sympathetic to them, they will be sympathetic and they will calm down. They will know that mom is understanding me. You do the opposite. Try to understand them and try to use words that are explaining what they are feeling or what they are passing through. Yes, when they are hurt, tell them, oh, you're hurt. It means you're talking for them. Yes.
So it's all about understanding and showing that I've understood.
I've understood.
Which is not a very simple thing to achieve, especially considering the age of these children.
Yes.
And this is, I mean, you said it's about 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it goes to 4 years.
Sometimes 4 years. And now parents, this is this is the 20 years difference.
Yeah, I know it's the 20th century, but for our kids' future,
creating
we have
that
to know.
understanding and creating a situation where a parent has made the child understand that, yes, I've understood where you're coming from. I think that's not a very easy point.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like you said, it's being intentional and learning how to parent and understand that behavior, so you would be able to handle their need and show that, yes, I understand you.
Yes.
So is it through practice? Is it through learned skills? What do you advise parents in general to, especially those that have young children or guardians. And I also think teachers.
Yeah, by the way, teachers in kindergartens, they need this knowledge so much.
Yes, they find these are some of the things that, so generally as we conclude, I see our time is well spent.
Yes.
You can throw in a comment there and also throw a comment on, is this a disorder or it's a normal stage?
Okay, thank you, Moses. Thank you so much for also watching. As my conclusion, I could say that young children, I want parents to know that young children don't throw these tantrums deliberately wanting, or they don't plan to throw these tantrums. As I told you, it's just a way they use to express or change what is happening. It's just the way they're expressing their hunger or frustration when you're doing something that is tirelessly hurting them. Sometimes they throw on these tantrums. When they're angry, they throw on these tantrums. However, older kids sometimes do it. They sometimes do it because of as a learned behavior. Yeah, they do it as a learned behavior, older kids. And as a parent, I want you to know that if you're rewarding the thing that child is doing now by giving them, after throwing in a tantrum and giving them a reward, it's going to continue to be like that. And it will turn, I told you, as Moses, you asked me if it is a normal thing. It is normal, but if you as a parent reward this behavior or a tantrum, something, this child, as I told you, that an older one, it is a learned behavior. They are just stuck in a behavior. These young babies are stuck in a bad behavior. It's not deliberately done. They don't intentionally done. But when they grow older and they continue to do that, just know it's a learned behavior and you partly to be blamed about it. It means something went wrong
there
somewhere.
Tends to be a disorder.
Yes. But as a parent, I want you to know that if this tantrum is done, if this child throws in a tantrum and you reward it, it is likely going to continue. Yes, so you have to stop it immediately. When this child is doing something, be very careful when you're giving in what they are yearning for. You should stop, because if you continue, if you give them what they are crying for, they will know that when I cry, mommy or teacher or daddy gives me this. So the tantrum will continue up to their old age.
In the adulthood. And
adulthood.
Even when they can express by words, because now they can speak.
They can
the
express
language has developed, so they're supposed to speak.
They're supposed to
speak. So now
speak.
if they continue with the tantrums, then it's something that must be checked.
Yeah, it turns into a disorder.
Thank you very much, Mariam. This brings us to the end of our discussion. Very, very insightful and trying to understand behavior in that stage of toddlers. But we've seen that if it's not checked and dealt with properly at that stage, then in the adulthood, it might turn out into something else. That's why I find they say this person is hard to deal with.
Yes. Has a hard
relationships, at work, has a hard character.
He's so aggressive every time.
And therefore, it's our duty as parents and guardians and teachers and all those that take care of toddlers to gain some of this knowledge and see how you can properly deal with tantrums. Thank you very much, viewers from all platforms and those who have been watching live on the mainstream. Thank you very much for being part of this discussion, and always tune in to Bethan TV for health, because that's where you get knowledge that can help you in different spheres of life. And to our guest tonight, our expert Mariam Naukera, thank you very much for being part. Our producers in the studio, Faizo and the rest, thank you very much. Now I've learned from Mariam how to appreciate you, because you really do great work.
Yes,
and
I appreciate.
It's a Friday. I wish everyone a blessed weekend ahead. Good night for now. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.